So this is my new series that I'm beginning called Art Education Magazine, and edition 1 is for about beginning the school year. So I'm going to be sharing my 30 plus years of art education with you through these ongoing series of books. And each book comes with copyright permission, so the purchaser may make copies for their students. I include rubrics and all sorts of good stuff in here that you can use with your students. So our table of contents, setting up your room, seating charts, decorating, staying ahead of paperwork, curriculum, where you can find that for free, parent night and a syllabus, establishing rules and norms, cell phone use in the classroom, bathroom passes and points, justifying art, because sometimes students ask you, well, why do I have to take this class? Opening surveys, introductory projects. So I have 4 introductory projects that go from high school to lower elementary, rubrics that you can use for all of that, and then additional resources in the back of the book. So I'll go through this briefly about setting up your room. Here's how I do my seating chart. I have codes that I include in here, and I've written about that, so you can still keep student information private, but it also makes doing attendance and that kind of stuff much easier. How I decorate my room and think about making the space really a good workspace for my students. I have a sample syllabus and kind of how I handle parent night and where you can find free curriculum on the internet. And then once in a while I have a poster, so for establishing rules and norms, I have my rule poster, but I've made sure that the back of it is actually blank, so you could cut this out of the book and laminate it if you feel like it would be a helpful resource. Here's how I handle cell phones in my high school classroom. I actually have a caddy that students put up there, and I have a cell phone jail when students are breaking the rules. And I go through a little poster here about my rules for the classroom, but you can set up your own rules, obviously. Bathroom passes, and I actually give students points for not using their bathroom passes. So each pass is worth 1 point, and if they don't use them, then they have 10 extra credit points that can be added on to a final project or something along the lines. Justifying art becomes important, specifically if you have older students and they are arguing with you about why do they even have to take this class. I have some solid information for you. And again, these little posters, blank on the back, so you can laminate them and use them in your room. This one shows how art is connected to math and history and physics and literature and engineering. This is similar in that, just a little easier to read. And then this is actually a page you can copy with some easy links. So if you have to talk to your Board of Education because maybe your budget is being cut and you want to explain why it's important that art is a well-funded program, this will help you with that. We have some class surveys, an opening class survey and a closing class survey, so you understand what's going on, maybe a class culture survey, find out what the students' backgrounds are, and then the introductory lessons. These lessons are designed in such a way that students can be very independent and create something that is personally tied to who they are. So first off, you learn what are their skills as they come to you, and learn a bit about your students as you're getting to know them. The nice thing about them being independent is while you're doing other work to set up for your year, they can be working on these. So I have some samples. This one is a cell phone artwork project. Students are certainly interested in their cell phones, so they come up with their own design for wallpaper. And then we have some handouts to kind of help them through that process. And here's some examples of artworks that my students did. Then we have music as a bridge, where they do a worksheet where they look at the music that they feel really connects with them, maybe got them through a tough time, makes them happy when they're feeling down, and then they illustrate that song with the lyrics within it, and you get to see what do they know technique-wise, and also you get to know sort of what they're listening to and what is important to them. And then here's the handout to get them sort of jumping on some ideas, analyzing music, writing down the lyrics, and maybe including these so you have a little bit of a literacy connection within your lesson. Another one is where students can be looking up their national origins and writing their name in those other languages, or you can have them pick from a hat and do their name in non-Western languages, and then each character, like this is my name in Chinese, each character tells you a little bit about the person. So I like to travel, I obviously like art, there's an easel, and I do a lot of work on the computer. And again, there's a worksheet that you can photocopy for your students to get them started. And here are 2 samples from students. And then here's a list that you can photocopy and cut up if you want them to pick languages from a hat, and then every student has something a little bit different. This is for lower elementary, the Who Am I project. The idea is that they just draw themselves inside of the figure and then put 4 things behind them that are important to them. Like, I like strawberries, I like to go on the slides, I like bugs or caterpillars, whatever it is, they can draw that. So you get an idea of where are their skills at, and then what things are interesting to your students. So we have a boy and a girl one. They can pick whatever they feel they identify with. And then I do have project rubrics in here. So this is my universal art project rubric. This would be for middle and high school. Students have to write in how they exceeded expectations, meeting expectations are here, and then missing expectations they can underline here. And as students get to understand what my expectations are, they can actually write in maybe how they missed expectations, how they exceeded expectations, and then they can circle it if they met those expectations. There's certainly room down here for you to make additional comments and post a grade. And then I have an elementary rubric, which works very well for the littles in my classes. Then at the back of the book, I have some, again, posters. They are blank on the back so that you can laminate them if you would like to. And each of my books will include those kinds of color references that may be helpful to you. So if you feel like this is something you would like to find more about, you can check them out at firehousepublications.com. These books will also be available on Amazon. Thank you so much, and have a great day.